Hi everyone, I'm Noreen and welcome to my kitchen. Today I'm going to make a pumpkin apple upside down cake. Think pineapple upside down cake, only we're going to use autumnal apples. These are Granny Smith apples, they're crisp and tart, and then we're going to make a pumpkin cake batter to go on top. We're going to build a caramel before we put the apples. It's going to be awesome. This is what's going to go into our pumpkin apple upside down cake. I have 3 Granny Smith apples that have been peeled and cored and sliced approximately a half of an inch thick. Into the cake will also go 1 cup each of packed brown sugar and white granulated sugar, 1.5 cups of solid packed pumpkin. This is not pumpkin pie mix, it is pumpkin puree, 3 eggs, a half a cup of oil, and a tablespoon of vanilla, and a teaspoon of baking soda, teaspoon of baking powder, teaspoon of salt, teaspoon of orange zest, and my orange was a little on the green side, so why it looks a little green, and a tablespoon of pumpkin pie spice. We're also going to use 3 cups of all-purpose flour in the cake batter, and then in the caramel topping we're going to use 1 cup of brown sugar, 1 stick or half a cup of melted butter, and then we're also going to use some pecans along with the apples. So I'm going to clear, and then I'm going to bring the mixer over and we'll get ready to make our pumpkin apple upside down cake. Okay, we're going to build the caramel, and this is really easy. When I was growing up and my mom would make a pineapple upside down cake, she would actually put this pan or a pan on the stove burner and then heat it up with, cold butter and brown sugar. But you know what? This is a way easier way. So I'm just going to take this. This is 1 stick of melted butter. This is 1/2 cup of melted butter. And then I'm just going to kind of try and swish it around the bottom of the pan here. And then I'm going to take my cup of packed brown sugar. Going to sprinkle it on in there. I got my brown sugar out of the food storage, so it has some clumps in it, so we're going to want to make sure that we break those up. And evenly spreading it across the bottom here. Look at that. Because this is going to go into a 325-degree oven and cook for a half an hour to 45 minutes, then there's really no need for me to create the caramel inside this pan before I pour the cake batter in there. So this is perfect. And this way you get to evenly distribute the caramel mixture. And just like with the pineapple upside down cake, we're going to go ahead and we're just going to arrange the apple slices. There we go. And this is a lovely harvest dessert. And it's going to be really yummy. I can just know it. I was sitting here creating this recipe, and Molly went, well, that's going to be interesting. It's going to be interestingly delicious. Okay. Oh, and I just broke my... Take the pecan halves and just kind of put them upside down, because when we turn this right side up, then this will be, you'll be showing the pretty side. Okay, here we are. We've got 1 cup of sugar and 1 cup of brown sugar. There's the granulated sugar and the brown sugar. And then we're going to go ahead and add half a cup of oil. We're going to break these eggs in here. And, you could use butter. Whoops, I did it again. I always do that with at least 1 egg when I'm on camera. Oh, well. You guys know me and love me, right? Maybe you've come to expect that certain standard. If you want to make this with butter, you can with a stick of butter, but you're going to want to cream that with the sugar before you start adding the eggs. But since we're using oil, we're going to go ahead and use this. And we're going to start blending this. That's true, Molly will find it. All right, now you see how it's kind of changed color? And now you can see what I was saying, how my brown sugar is a little bit old. It's all right. I'm just going to take my spatula in here and kind of rub it up against the side of the bowl. It's all good. It's not going to hurt it one bit, okay? So don't worry about that. It's going to be fine.
It'll melt.
It will melt. It'll be delicious, okay? Now we're going to go ahead and we're going to put our pumpkin right in there. Plop it on in. Get every bit of that goodness in there. You paid for it. And that is about 1 15-ounce can of pumpkin. Just pumpkin. Get that a good mix. Now the dry ingredients. Oh, pop your vanilla in there too, okay? Let's give that a little bit of a stir. I always forget the vanilla too. Okay. Now, here's our seasonings, our spices, baking powder, baking soda, salt, and our pumpkin pie spice, and our orange zest. The orange zest is optional. Don't feel like you have to have it. I just happen to have an orange laying around and decided to use it. Okay, now we're going to go ahead and we're going to put our dry ingredients. Go ahead and whisk all those spices in with the flour. Pop it in. Oh gosh, it smells so good. Give that a good stir. Okay, here's our cake batter. It's really delicious, I have to tell you. Because, you know, somebody had to lick the beater, right? So I gave it a taste. Alright, so what now we're going to do is we're going to put this batter on top of the caramel and apple and pecans that we prepared earlier in the pan. There we go.
Figure it out.
Okay, this is not going to be like cake mix that you make out of a box. This is going to be a really thick batter. And don't worry about that butter that's sneaking up from underneath, because eventually that's all going to settle. So don't worry about it.
And get absorbed.
It will. It's going to be delicious. Okay, now we have to give this a little... Okay.
What's there's the butter splashing up.
Did I get any on the camera? Whoops.
I don't see any.
Okay, that's good. All right, so you want to give it a couple of good wraps on the counter. This is going to help any air bubbles that may have developed in there and help it settle down in between the apples and the caramel and all of that. So, into a 350-degree oven it goes. It's going to take a nice long nap for about 45 minutes. We're going to check it at the 30-minute mark, and it's ready to come out when a toothpick inserted in the center comes out clean. So we'll be back when it's time to take it out. Okay, it has been 50 minutes. I checked this at 40, actually at 30, and then again at 40, and then it needed an extra 10 minutes. So an extra 10 minutes it was. Now we're going to let this sit for 5 minutes, and we're going to let it just kind of subside and settle down a bit, and then we're going to turn it out onto a lined baking sheet, and we will reveal all of its beauty, and we'll be back when it's time to do that. Okay, I have a baking sheet that I have lined with aluminum foil and a parchment, and I'm going to flip this, and if everything works out right, it's going to be really cool.
If not, it'd be on the floor.
That's true. It never hurts to Is that not hysterical? You're just
always
gonna
one, always one.
You're just gonna die. There's always one. And then all we do with that one is we just put it back where it belongs.
You'll never know.
They'll never know.
Well,
Yeah, and that really did come out of the pan very clean.
You lost a nut too, huh?
I lost a nut. I hate it when I lose a nut, but it's probably worse if you lose a nut. But I did not say that. Okay, now this is like molten hot lava right now, so I don't recommend even trying to taste it, and keep your husband's fingers out of it, and then wait for at least an hour before you cut into it, and that's what we're going to do. And when we do cut into it, we'll come back and we'll fix you a piece, because I know that you can't wait to see what this looks like.
Can't taste it.
It's been about an hour, hour and a half since we took it out of the oven, and you can see that it has already been kid tested, husband approved. Let's just put it that way. So now I'm going to cut you a piece, okay? I'm just going to cut down into this piece. The cake is extremely moist, and I'll let you have those 2 nuts as well. Ooh, it doesn't want to come off. Okay. even see the loft that the cake batter got, and it's very moist. The caramel on the top is absolutely delicious. The apple is perfectly cooked. The flavors are fantastic. I think that you are going to be extremely pleased when you make this cake for your family. This would be perfect for the autumn. It's perfect for any time. You don't just have to wait, but autumn is the perfect time to make this. This would be an absolutely delicious addition to your Thanksgiving menu. Or perfect for a potluck or a church supper, anything you want to take it for. It's absolutely beautiful. So I hope that you give this a try. It was really easy to make. It has ingredients that you most likely have on hand already. Dig in the back of your pantry. I bet you'll find a can of pumpkin in there. And I hope you try it, and I hope you love it. And don't worry about writing the recipe down. You can always get it over on my website, noreenskitchen.com. And I love it when you visit me. Thanks so much for stopping by today. And until next time, I'll see ya.